because in these types of situations we want to make sure, let's say we do bring her out for like a media event or even a tour, we want her to always know she has a safe space to go to. Yeah. And so whenever she's ready to go to that, we always like to honor that and let her go back.
An ambassador is a title for somebody that goes out and talks about conservation and really sells that communication with people such as yourselves. So it could be myself or it could be our sloths. We advocate for the safety of our animals as well as their natural habitat. Who here is a big sloth fan? I know you are. Yes, perfect. Does anybody know how many types of sloths there are? Any guesses? It's a low number.
2.
Perfect, 2. So we have 2-toed sloths and 3-toed sloths. Amongst the 2-toed sloths, we have Hoffmans and Linnaeus. The 2 that you'll be meeting today, hopefully you'll be meeting today, are Hoffman's 2-toed sloths. Does anybody know where these sloths are located? South America. Perfect, Central and South America. You guys are super smart. So, fortunately, we are not in South or Central America, but we do have some sloths here for you to meet today. Would you like to meet them now?
Yes.
Awesome. I will pass it off to you guys then.
Thank you, Emily. All right, so like Emily said, my name is Rachel. So today we are obviously doing our sloth encounter. So you guys are going to get a chance to meet 2 of our sloths if they choose to participate. Now, every time we work with our animals, it's through something called positive reinforcement. Does anyone know what positive reinforcement is? Shout it out if you know.
Giving them rewards when they do the things that you want them to do.
Exactly, you guys all hit the nail on the head. So anytime they do something that we like, we want to see more of, we're going to give them something that they like and they want to see more of. So like Emily was mentioning, we're part of the Animal Ambassador team. And so with our team, we're typically located in another area of the park. Our roof's being redone, so that's why our tour is in the theater right now. And our animals are still getting used to it because it's only been a couple weeks up here. So right now you're going to actually see us, or you're going to help us participate in a training session with our sloths, Leia and Coda. Now Leia here, she's a little bit still getting used to coming out for the tour, so we're going to ask her if she wants to come out. Now she voluntarily got in her crate before this tour, which means she knows that there's an option for some type of interaction. So we're going to open this crate and see if she wants to come out for her treat to come out on the tour. So you're going to see us using that positive reinforcement right here real time. We're just asking that, or Leia's asking that you save the photos till she's on the tree. She looks a lot better with the tree as her background. We also know, and you guys can hear in this tour, that these travel crates are just for them getting transported to and from their habitat. This is obviously not where they live. And Leia wants to make sure that you guys know that. You want to come target out here? So Leia is what we call a Hoffman's 2-toed sloth. She is our youngest sloth here at 4 years old. 4, right? I didn't mix those 2 names up. Her half-brother Coda is the one that you guys will get to meet second. So she was actually born here at the park 4 years ago. Can you come back here?
That is so far.
I know. Say good morning. This is a big exercise for a sloth, right? Does anybody know how many hours a day a sloth will sleep for?
20.
20, absolutely. So 18 to 20 is the typical average for a sloth. So believe it or not, this 30-minute tour is a very exhilarating 30 minutes for sloths here.
My spirit animal.
I know, right? I wish I could sleep for 20 hours a day.
Come on, big stretch.
There we go. Now you can see right here, she's coming out. Those 2 front claws have 2 toes on them, right? Now when she brings her back claws out here, in just one moment, you'll see that there's actually 3. So all types of sloth have 3, over here, Mama? 3 toes on their rear ends and 2 on the front. So you always have to look at those front ones to tell who you're looking at. All right, thank you.
Your mom's anatomically correct.
Good. So we're going to have Leia hanging out on this tree if you guys do want to come meet her. So now what we're going to do today is we're going to split you guys into 2 groups. Everyone's going to get to see Leia and Coda up close, so no worries. So we're actually going to start with the back row first. If you guys want to come on down, then we're going to have you meet Leia. And when you guys come down, if you want to stand over here, I'll go over instructions with meeting Leia first, all at the same time, so you guys can hear at the same time. And when you guys are up interacting with Leia, if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to let us know. And Katie can also help take photos. So what we're going to have you guys do with Leia is we're going to actually have you guys touch her. Has anyone ever touched a sloth before? No? All right, first timers. Perfect. Perfect. So when we're touching Leia, I'm going to be feeding her some of her favorite fruits and veggies to make this tour really positive and reinforcing for her. You want to come over here? So when we are touching Leia though, they're not like our dogs, so they don't like to be roughed and scruffed. So you're going to take your flat palm, you're going to look for her shoulders, and you're going to very, very lightly touch her on that back going down. We want to make sure that we don't rough her, scruff her, or touch her anywhere she's not expecting, so that facial area is not somewhere where she expects to be touched. So we just want to make sure we do shoulders down. Do you guys want to come over first? All right. Perfect. What does she feel like?
Not so we hung out with the kangaroos the other day, and not as soft as them, but like soft.
So not quite as soft as a kangaroo, but pretty soft. Perfect. Do you want to touch her?
Yeah.
Kangaroos are remarkably soft.
I know.
Yes.
It's kind of surprising.
You wouldn't expect them to be. I get what you're saying.
They like,
Do they lose a lot of hair?
doesn't like being
They shed a little bit, but actually not too much. Now these are much prettier, if I may, sloth than you may be used to seeing in photographs or nature. In nature, sloths actually grow a very specific algae on the back of their coat, so when you do come up and pet her, you'll notice that this back fur is really, really long. If you guys want to come over and touch her, we'll have you guys switch groups really quick. Can you lay it? All right, whenever she's chewing, and we'll touch her shoulders down. Just go a little bit lower.
Yeah, of course.
Coda said, here I am.
So this is Coda here. So Coda is
So what you guys are just seeing Rachel doing there is her target training. So all of our sloths are target trained. We have a flat palm, we say the word target, and we're looking for them to touch their nose to our hand. And it's a great way to encourage exercise and lead them around their enclosures. So just because they sleep most of the day, exercise is not exactly their first priority, which is a-okay. But it also helps us shape so many other behaviors.
Again, I'm just going to demonstrate this, go back over those rules.
What do you think she feels like?
It's going to give them a piece. I'll give you a longer piece.
So lovely.
It's so soft and lovely. Oh,
Correct answer.
yeah.
She is so lovely. Our two female sloths really look very model-esque.
They do.
They are super pretty girls.
Definitely.
We got really lucky with pretty girls.
Not that our boys aren't super handsome, but we have some, our oldest is a male. He is 42 years old.
42?
Yes, so she's 4. He is much older, but he's
They have a
actually
difference.
the same species. So he looks much older than she does. But usually in the wild, they live about 10 to 15 years is their average lifespan because of predators, because of the veterinary care and nutrition that they're receiving. Makes a large difference. So the oldest sloth that ever lived was 50 when she passed.
Hey, Mama, you want to come back over here? This way.
Nope.
Funny.
She likes to just see what's going on stage.
Take it their eyesight ain't brilliant. Their eyesight isn't brilliant.
It's not, no. So they do have pretty poor eyesight, but their sense of smell is fantastic. That's why their nose is so large. It's their best sense. They do have little ears. Their ears they actually look very similar to human baby ears, but they're underneath all of that fur. So it's pretty hard to see it.
You want to get her greater. These crates are very safe, comforting spaces for them. Because in these types of situations, we want to make sure, let's say we do bring her out for like a media event or even a tour, we want her to always know she has a safe space to go to. And so whenever she's ready to go to that, we always like to honor that and let her go back, especially since the tour in this location's new for her.
A little bit, right?
Yeah. Coda is a year younger, a year older. But it really is just up to the individual, I think, how they look and feel. If you were to meet our 42-year-old sloth, he feels a lot coarser than these two. I think that is due to his older age.
Yeah, it's a lot softer that
For
one.
those that didn't hear earlier, our oldest sloth, we have 5 of them at Animal Connections. He is 42 years old. His name is Harry. He is quite the celebrity. He, back in his younger years, did a lot of traveling. He's been on Good Morning America, The Today Show, Jimmy Fallon, all those shows. And he meets a lot of celebrities that come to the park. They usually always ask to meet Harry, and the latest celebrity he met was actually Hugh Jackman.
Oh, that is so cool.
So he's our celebrity sloth, but he has been retired for quite some time from all that publicity work. So instead of going to people, people come to him now.
He calls him Hugh Jack, and I call him Huge Jack Man.
Yeah.
I love that joke. I'll never let it die.
This one uses Head and Shoulders instead of Nivea.
He loves green pepper. All of our sloths do have their favorite foods. They all have their own personal preferences. So Coda will pretty much, and this is actually all of our boys, they will eat anything and everything you give them. They just keep it coming. Our girls are actually very picky. Leia likes her veggies. She's not a big fan of the sweet stuff. But Daisy, our Linnaeus two-toed Linnaeus two-toed female, she loves her sweet stuff. So if it's not pear or mango, she wants nothing to do with it. We joke sometimes when we're doing a training session with her, we'll have her target and offer her, say, a carrot. She'll take it with her paw and she will drop it. I call it her mic drop because she's a diva sometimes. And yeah, she'll just drop it in front of you and look for whatever's next.
So did everybody get a chance to feed?
Oh, they definitely do have individual, personalities for sure. These guys are also omnivores. That's something people don't know too much about two-toed sloths. You probably noticed after meeting Coda and Leia, they have super sharp teeth. Those self-sharpening canines are not really for what they're eating. It's more for defense from other sloths, defending their territory, and defense from predators, but it is more of a last resort than anything. But they do eat some meat. It is very on an opportunistic basis because it's not like they're going out and catching things themselves. They will eat things like eggs out of unguarded birds' nests. They'll eat carrion. They will eat lizards and insects off their own back as well. So mostly that's happening because they're scooping up that algae and they'll actually eat the algae off their own back, and they maybe are scooping a bug or two in there. But they definitely like that. They need that extra protein, but again, it's really on an opportunistic basis. Our sloths, since they live here with us, our nutritionist wants to prepare a diet for the animals that is as close to nature and as best for their nutrition as we can. So these guys actually get hard-boiled egg. That's the protein replacement for them.
Serious abs, yes.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No.
One thing that's really cool, like you guys saw them hanging upside down, that's how they move. They do everything upside down. They sleep, eat, and even give birth upside down. I'm not your trainer today, Coda. Does anyone know the only thing a sloth won't do upside down? Poop. Yes, you got it. It's poop. So they will actually come down from their territory and poop on the ground and then go back up. Does anyone know how often they do that?
Once a week.
You got it, yeah. Once a week in nature. They go once a week here since they have much more fiber in their diet. I can't imagine how many dropped carrots are in this tree.
That's gross. I can see mine.
They go about every 3 or 4 days here with us, and just because they get more fiber.
Did anybody have any questions about sloths today?
What do the fights look like? Are they super anticlimactic?
So when a sloth, say another sloth comes into their territory, what happens is they smell them usually first, and they actually puff up, so their hair stands on end and they look much larger than they actually are. It's actually kind of frightening. So they puff up, they drop those front 2 limbs down, so they elongate themselves to look even bigger than they already are with that puffed up hair, and they start snapping their jaw open and closed. So they're showing off those teeth. Hey, these are sharp, don't want to mess with me. And then they'll swipe their claws and they will bite. They can move much quicker than you think. So this is, saving energy. Why do I need to move fast right now? If there's a predator, if there's a threat, they can move much more quickly than you think. They almost move robotically in that sort of situation. So if they need to, they can. But mostly it's swiping of those claws and showing off that jaw of theirs. Yeah.
Sorry guys, he was giving me signs that he is ready to go. So I'm going to give him the opportunity if he'd like to.
So then maybe the door isn't the best thing to grab.
Terrible.
Which is kind of cool though, because you guys can actually see him go in,
Move. Yeah.
which not a lot of people get the chance to see.
What other animals are they closely related to?
That's a great
Ooh, I
question.
love that question.
Does anyone want to take a guess? Who's their closest relative?
A bear.
I feel like a bear.
A bear?
They're all named
Coda and
bears.
Leia, I think, definitely look a lot like bears, and I think that's where that name trend started. But their closest relative is actually anteaters. Southern giant anteaters in particular. So if you look at the way their body, like anatomically, is structured, it actually is pretty similar to an anteater. And then following after that, even though it's really not that close, would be an armadillo in that family. So yeah, there was an ancestor of theirs that is now extinct, but it was called a giant ground sloth. Is anyone here from Florida? No? Oh my gosh, you have no clue. That's so funny. Well, if you are there, it was an animal that lived thousands of years ago called the giant ground sloth. That was a sloth, but stood upright and was about 12 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Really, really cool. I highly recommend if you ever want to go down a fun rabbit hole on Google. They're really, really cool prehistoric animals for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. Any other questions? Those are good ones.
Not all related to like pandas or anything?
No, not really, no.
They're just both really cute though.
Yeah, they both have that factor. A lot of people think they might be related to koalas because similarly they sleep most of the day, very slow moving, but they just have really similar adaptations. So it mostly has to do with their diet.
Do different types of sloths have different like type of coats? Like
Like colors? Yeah, absolutely. So like the one that you have is a three-toed sloth, and their distinguishing coloration is on their eyes. They have that mask, really dark. Though only three-toed sloths have that. You didn't see that on Coda or Leia. The other type of two-toed sloth is actually brown. So these guys were blonde, those ones are brown. So that's like the main color difference. Good question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It would be like me and her hair color.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Though I have seen some pretty light colored Linnaeus sloths, so it just depends on the individual, like any animal. But one last thing before we do head out for the day is we want to talk a little bit about our conservation of these sloths. You guys have actually helped out with Sloth Conservation Day today just by coming on the tour. Part of your ticket does go straight to our Busch Gardens and SeaWorld Conservation Fund, and we work with a lot of organizations, but this is the one that's nearest and dearest to our hearts here at Animal Connections. It's the Pan American Conservation Association. So they are based in Panama. They're actually a rescue, rehab, and re-release facility that works mainly with sloths in the wild, but also with lots of other rainforest animals. They actually have a re-release rate of 95%. So 95% of the animals they rescue are returned. Which is incredible. They do some really amazing work down there. They actually visited us about a month ago, and we swap a lot of knowledge between each other, and then we actually have a keeper going down there pretty soon this year to help them out for a few weeks in Panama. So we go back and forth quite a bit with them, but like I said, they're just one of the many organizations that we work with, but thank you guys for helping them out today and helping out sloths in general. Any other way we can help them would be protecting their habitat. Sloths are really great advocates for the rainforest, right? If you protect sloths, which you guys love sloths, right? You all came here to see one today. It's really easy to make that connection from sloths to then helping their ecosystem around them. But yeah, thank you guys again for coming out today. Make sure you have everything you brought here with you as we're gonna head right back out with Emily. It will be your guide out. So please don't forget any bags and things. And then if you'd like, you can grab some hand sanitizer on the way out. But if you want to linger with Coda on your hand forever, I understand. So have a great rest of your day, you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.